I'm Miguel. I'm an addict, and I have a son who I need to keep distracted so that I can record this. So if you hear stuff in the background, it's him, but he's enjoying strawberries right now. I have been posting a lot. I feel like I've been posting a lot more about running than I have about my recovery and my addiction. With something hybrid and the run club and me trying to just better myself as a runner, as a father, as a man, that's taken up all of my time. And anyways, I did want to share with you a little bit more about my story. So I am from the Dominican Republic. I was born and raised in Arlington, Virginia. Was raised by my mom. Mhm. I have struggled with substance abuse since I was very young. Um, I'd say it got more serious in high school, probably like sophomore, junior year, maybe. I was trying stuff, just always like I just tried everything. Like Xanax was big for me. And when I say it was big for me, I mean it was big into like were like big moments where I went from smoking weed to like now it was Xanax, and then from Xanax it was like oh now cocaine, and it just like kept creeping up. But I was just doing stuff. It was like over the counter medicine because I was young. Like I was in high school. I wasn't working. I was stealing stuff. I was stealing stuff, over the counter drugs, and just getting high, like fucking high, dude. As fuck. Yeah, it's just what I did. Like me and my boys, it's just what we did, and we still hooped. We still worked out. We still like that part of my life never stopped either. It was always turning the fuck up and then playing sports and staying active. Like those were the two things that I never knew which one I wanted. I knew which one I wanted. It was the better route. It was the harder route. I knew that it was harder. I knew that it was easier for me, and I felt more comfortable just just doing the easy things. Like I'd rather go get drunk instead of like face all the issues about myself that at the time I wasn't even aware of. Like I'm 18, 16, 17, 15, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Like I didn't even know anything. I didn't know nothing about anything. I still don't know a lot. And I have so much to learn. I'm thankful for experiences. I'm thankful for all of this, but just hindsight is 2020, and just looking back, I was lost. Like there was no way that I wasn't like nobody was gonna save me. I was just because I didn't know what I was doing. You couldn't save me when I didn't think that I was doing anything wrong. Like I just was being I was just trying to be happy. I was trying to fit in. I was just lost. We're all just lost at that age, I feel like. But some of us cope differently, and some of us ask for help earlier, and whatever it is. I need to focus on speaking in I statements because this is my story. So, my experience, I ran a marathon. I trained for it. Like I got out of a relationship, so it was just me, and I lived here. This is my aunt's house in the basement, and I was training for the marathon, and I was still doing drugs. I was drinking. I was like, I cleaned up my act a little bit because I was focused on the marathon, and like I said, these things were always like this was my life. It was fitness and the other stuff, drugs and substances. And so I finished the marathon. I trained for it. Like I loved it. I fell in love with running during that marathon prep, and then I crossed that finish line, and I don't know. Like I knew that I wasn't gonna keep running, and I loved it, and I knew that I wanted to so bad. But I knew that after I crossed that finish line, like I feel like I was just staying distracted, like just distracting myself because I was just alone. Like I felt alone, and I was just trying to pick myself up, but I didn't understand myself at all. Like I didn't know anything about my trauma. I didn't know. I wasn't aware of all like my inner demons, for lack of a better term. So I couldn't work towards them. So I was just angry and frustrated, and I just felt like a failure, and everything was my fault, or everything was not my fault, but everything was everybody's fault but mine. Like, just I didn't know. So fast forward, I'm getting fentanyl now. Like, I'm buying it regularly. Gracias. I'm gonna have to read this to him, guys. So I'm like using fentanyl now. I'm working at a gym, and this was like the first year. So first year I got a new job. This was after the marathon. I met Nancy. We move in together. I move out of here, um, and we start our life together. And I'm using fentanyl this whole time. I'm using drugs this whole time, and it's fentanyl now. Like, her and I, like, we would go out when we met. We would drink together. Like, she was always fine. It was me. I was the problem. Like, she would go, like, she would go to the bathroom, and I would pour her shots, and I would take like 3 or 4 fucking shots, and then I'd pour her shots, and then I'd take my 5th shot with her. But she thought that I was taking 1 shot with her. But anyways, she knows all that stuff now. Yeah. Um, but yeah, like, just slowly started losing myself. I was, I stopped working out. I was not really eating because it wasn't that I wasn't hungry, because fentanyl is, it's an opioid. So like, I was just, chill. It took over my mind. So instead of my body telling me, like, my mind wasn't telling me go and eat. When I was hungry, my mind was telling me go get drugs. And it sounds crazy, but it's science, and I don't have that argument with people anymore. If people believe that it is up to me and it's my fault that I went down this route, then that's okay, and that sucks. But I know where I stand in life, and I know where I stand with my disease and my addiction, and this is my story, and this is me, and I'm just sharing so that someone can hear this and someone can relate, and so that I can continue talking about the most crucial, probably 2 years of my entire life. Was like, it was life changing, and I think everybody experiences something like it. And maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. I only experience life through the lens that I have, so I can only talk through this. You know what I'm saying? I truly feel like I have a mission to just spread the word and end the stigma on addiction, because it is a disease, and we do need help, and we need a certain kind of help. And it's not easy for the loved ones of addicts, it's not easy for the addicts themselves, it's not easy for anyone. But when we start understanding it, is when it is going to change. Like, whatever you've ever wanted to do in your life, if you wanted to become a better cook, a better runner, a better parent, you have to understand what it is to be a parent, what it is to be a cook, what it is to run. You have to understand it. How does my body work? Why do I have to fuel? Why do I have to hydrate? People don't even give addiction a chance enough to understand it, because we do some terrible things, but we also do amazing things. Ways, I don't know. I just, I am excited to be back making more content. Bye. Bye.